Dude, can I record?
Yeah, I'm recording.
No, I'm saying, can I freestyle, bro?
That's what I'm saying, bro. You need to make up your mind. If
No, we're gonna do it, bro. If I was performing, if I was Drake and there's an audience, I'm no Kanye.
Oh my God, nigga, ain't no bloody Drake, bro. Jesus Christ,
I'm
bro.
Drake in my head. Just turn the key once off.
Okay. All right. Yo, man, welcome back to another episode of Third Avenue, aka
Tap.
I'm your boy Vinny.
And Hussein.
And yo, man, we remember, I don't know if those who remember, we used to have a segment called Free the Bar.
Or off the dome.
Or off the dome.
Whatever the term names.
Whatever the term was.
Shout out to everyone, whoever's watching this. Eid Mubarak, belated. This is the first episode we're recording.
Yeah, the Ramadan is over, man.
Right? And two things are happening. We're recording on a Friday for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? The second thing is we're recording during load shedding.
Yeah.
Not load shedding. So
you remember before we started freestyle, because the other day I was just chilling and thinking to myself. You remember that video of some American Muslim guys, and they were like, "They took me,
Allah Akbar."
And then niggas say Allah Akbar,
took me,
Allah Akbar, man. That shit was lit, man. But the thing is that sometimes you can only say that to niggas who are like Muslim. That other people will watch that and just think.
Obviously, yes. But I think just before we jump into the pod, remember the Saudis and the Arabs are kind of, a lot of people don't know that stuff like they say inshallah.
Yeah.
And then
comes with their influences.
It's Islam.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know. They're thinking, it's just Arab money or whatever. But it's terms that we use, But anyway, man.
Let's hit it, man. I got it slow for y'all niggas, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Say we back on another one. Said we only saw the sun. Now we sighted the moon. Ramadan's really done, but it went really fast. Hey, now we sitting in the past.
No more dry lips.
Hey, say the Almighty gotta forgive my sins, 'cause I do them every day. Say, gotta pray 5 times a day. Thank the Lord for giving me all the way, blessing me all the way. Gotta take it all the long way, gotta go big. Man, God forgive me what I do for what I do for the bid.
It's 4 a.m. Waking up, I gotta grind. 4 a.m. I'm waking up, I gotta grind. 4 a.m. is waking up, I gotta grind. Make that money, get that peas, everything is going easy. Why you got so much questions? Why is this money piling? Why? It's 'cause of all the fasting. I know niggas wanna rap too hard, it's past me. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. Make your bread, nigga. Ain't nothing for you do, nigga.
Make it bread, make it go to the head. Making like you're getting Super Saiyan angry. Going so red, going dumb. Making that dumb money move fast. Now you gotta run, man. You gotta fast. Gotta thank the Lord. Gotta thank the Lord, the Most High. Now I'm looking really most fly. Gotta give myself a little bit of pride. I gotta do it like I'm stunning like my father. Hey, gotta do it. Stylish like my mother. Pretty boy rapping on. Ay, gotta make a different song.
Now it's 5 a.m. Gotta make that bread. It's 5 a.m. I'm drinking tea. I'm making ready. Getting money. Everything is going steady. Man, I finish my run, niggas. I'm going up now. Why thinking that I'm rapping so fast for them niggas behind me? They can't see nothing but a nigga's ass, but this shit is gotta need a pause. But it's all good. Nigga, this ain't discriminatory shit.
Man. What's up, man? Let's just cut it off while it's still hot. While it's still hot.
You'll have that slow decline.
He says, why you leave while you're still hot, man. Yeah, it's better to leave sometimes when you're hot. He should have took his own advice, yo, man. But how you doing, man? How you doing?
Nah, I'm good, man. Recently moved in to a new place with me and my wife. Yeah, man, this is genuinely our first place, you know what I'm saying? And
no folks.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like
hey, it's my peas, you know?
There's always people.
Like now, nigga, I got a place where I could generally kick a nigga out. Tell a nigga, get out of my house. You know, even there, I'm planning to invite mom so I can just kick her out for
fun. You know what's so crazy about that is that if like traditional parents have so much power over you, they can tell you to shut the fuck up in your own crib. Like, like you'll be wilding out there, they're like, sit your ass down, nigga. And now you're like, sorry,
not
mom.
Me, nigga. Not me when I'm paying my peas.
But it's remember, it's always the level of like the way they brought you up to like let you know, nigga. I know you're gonna feel saucy, but don't ever forget. If it was not for me, nigga, you wouldn't be shit. Yeah, so it's always that. That's why you can't even wild out, or even when you do, it's like my body. The times where if I speak up now, you're even feeling like you're shaking. Like, oh my god, what did I just do? Like, man, it could be valid to straight up like stand up sometimes for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, hey, man, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be sourcing on your parents, man. Come on.
But sometimes you gotta let a nut drag, you know?
No, of course. But
how you been, man?
I've been great. I won't lie. Energy levels went down as soon as Ramadan ended. I think
that's what I usually tell people.
I think maybe food.
Yeah.
But I think also because I had more of a lot of motivation during Ramadan, there was a little bit of adrenaline induced because I was working out in the morning, like go for the jog, for that. So naturally, and it was not like, mentally something. It was just the body was like, nah, bruh. You're waking up and you're running, you're even going harder than you do than when you can't even have like a cup of water during out the day. So I think the body is just wanting to relax on like, pace yourself. But nah, man, I'm good.
I usually tell people the reason for energy levels, why people initially, let's say, I don't know if you watch those videos where a guy will fast for a whole week. You will realize, obviously, the first day it's usually the hardest. The second day things get better, but on the third day they tend to have more energy levels, and some of them still maintain exercise. The reason why you have more energy is because in most cases, whenever you eat food, you don't eat food that is gonna help you maintain your energy levels, specifically carbs. Carbs, man, mess you up. Like, I always salute niggas at work when they eat pop, bro. Like, I always say, I'm fine if you eat pop.
At work, man. That's why I don't like eating too much at work. Especially like with desk jobs, like the ones we do. Like,
the one you just sitting,
when I used to span at Starbucks, bro, like it was whether you're half asleep because buy a plate. Nah, bro, you're gonna stand. Now you're gonna then you're forced to like do that. But now you're sitting, dog, and it starts getting warm inside. Everyone is chilling. You just had that lunch, bro, and now you have
to sit.
Now you're just like, and you hop onto a meeting. You know what I'm saying? And the meeting, the guy's, he's telling you to do stuff, and you're like, And then as soon as you take off your earphones, you're like, yo,
oh my god,
what happened to my energy? And it's not necessarily that the person you're in the meeting and does that to you. It's just that, and I also think I realized I stopped eating muesli because, by the way, muesli is a scam.
But muesli is a dessert.
It's like you have it the 1 week. Because I tell my wife, like, nah, we're just going to have this 1 week. Firstly, you need to finish the yogurt, right? That's the first thing that's pressurizing you.
What do you mean? Before the expiry date? But I think yogurt takes some time to start.
But like, have you ever had yogurt after like just like a couple of like 5 days?
Yeah.
It's no one wants to have yogurt that like you literally have to mix to get rid of that water. It looks nasty, right? But I realized during Ramadan when I used to, because I used to eat the muesli. Like I bought cereal and stuff because I struggled to eat in the morning.
Yeah.
I think because of the high fiber in the muesli, right? And I hate to admit it, I felt amazing, fam. I didn't even feel like
the old brand. You know how they say make you bosh
yeah, it was. I won't lie. Like when I started having cornflakes, that's when I would have no energy. But when I get to work, like around 8, now like I'm hungry. Like you know when you're like, oh man, I'm starving.
You know, I stopped. There's moments where like the reason I don't listen to a lot of music before I go into the office. Because I always say I'll get to the office so hyped, right?
Ooh,
like you get to the office so hyped.
And you realize what you're doing is so basic.
Yeah.
It doesn't need that energy.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that bravado. You come in there, nigga, blasting Future and stuff.
I think that thing only works in the gym, though. I think music like
no, it does.
Hip hop, particularly rap.
Yeah.
It works very well.
Yeah, but it works on when you're having good gym sessions. You know, one thing that people really need to admit, like, you know, when you go to the gym regularly, you realize that there's days where you're like, oh, this was a session and a half. Sometimes it's confusing me because, like, it's let's say, you know, when you go comedy Monday, and I have to go on Tuesday. For some reason, some days on that Tuesday, I really have a good gym session. Even though I was tired during the day because I haven't slept enough. But when I get to the gym, I really get tired. One thing I know that if I leave the gym so hyped, I have like an hour time span before my body just goes.
I thought I actually was the only person who goes there.
But
like, bro, and in do you also find yourself cooking up ideas of what you're gonna do after the gym?
You're getting hyped up, isn't it? You got that adrenaline going.
And you're saying you're gonna do it directly after the gym.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying, after this, I'm going to go do that one thing that I've been procrastinating. I'm making it out the hood, man.
But then you're making out of the hood.
And then you get home, you realize the soft life.
Yeah.
You get caught between thighs, your wife there, y'all start watching and you're like, why am I doing this myself with this? And then you wake up in the morning and you ask yourself, why am I broke, nigga? Because you do shit like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say. But you know what? I always think that you don't. You know when someone else tells you an idea and they seem very hyped, too hyped in the beginning, like you always, because I've tried a lot of things, you need to brace yourself for when it's no longer hype anymore. And now it just seems like, oh my god, it's like you can start gymming. A lot of people are so motivated.
Have you ever so find yourself like getting too hyped, then starting whatever this project is, push it, right? Let's say when you started off, it's so hard, right? And then halfway through, you realize you didn't factor in many factors, right?
Yeah.
And now it's so hard to backtrack, and it's like because when you like do specifically things or a certain task, because you didn't take in every factor, now you have to backtrack, but your brain is like, no, I can force this. And you just keep on forcing a result that is not going to be aligned. Have you ever found yourself doing that? And then what do you do to like revert back to that mindset? Oh, okay, I want to still tackle this one thing that I started without just letting it go.
So for me, I'm one of those guys that the reason I tell people things publicly sometimes, like, you know, sometimes you shouldn't tell people what you're doing. And the reason is because when you stop doing it, then it's just embarrassing and you just be that guy who does things and then lets it go. But I'm one of those individuals, if I say it out loud to someone and a group of people, that means I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it to the point where everyone is like, okay, he did it. You remember, it's like with the comedy thing. I always told people, the reason I always said to people before I even started, I'm going to do stand-up. Do
you ever find yourself saying that, like, in your brain when you're like, you know, like, for example, jogging, right? You'll tell people to jog. And then in your brain, you're like, what if this is the last week? And I just decide to throw all this away, and I'm just
Nah, that's crazy. Like even if
like my brain always still
I said,
does that.
no,
2 years later, bro.
After some
like somebody be like, yo, man, you need to do this, and then you're sitting, and then you think back, and you're like, what if this is the week?
Nah. At this point, like for me, let me tell you, with like the jogging thing, even if you take, let's say you don't jog, maybe because it's holidays, maybe you take a week break. What happens is your brain automatically says, yo, man, you bored, nigga. What the hell's wrong with you? Just wake up, nigga. Just do that thing again. Like you feel that incompleteness. Because I remember there was a time even when I first transitioned and I had to move to Pretoria for a bit. I remember I didn't jog for like a couple of days. And then instinctively I was like, no, man, I have to. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't. The point is, you have done it long enough that it starts to feel like a genuine, like it's a habit, like the same way someone gets addicted to like smoking.
I think with fitness, I think it's always a touchy one for me because I know how toxic it can be. You know, and it's not like shitting on fitness and people in the community. It's just you as an individual. You are the toxic person. I'm not talking about everyone who's also being toxic on that online sphere or people you hear remarks. It's not necessarily you or them being they're toxic to themselves. So you find yourself overcompensating. Like now I have a different thing. It's like, yo, bro, if you can't wake up and do this thing as having proper sleep and taking care of yourself, then that workout's not gonna work for you.
Yeah, you can't.
It needs to, and it sounds like you're saying, and it sounds like, oh yeah, you're being preached. You're like, bruh, trust me, if this thing feels like it's not fitting in the schedule, like the thing I just asked you now, you start something and you're like, yes, I said I'm gonna go at 5. Now you're realizing, but Mara, at 5 usually 1, 2, 3 happens. And now you don't wanna find something.
Then you start getting frustrated.
And then you just stop.
Yeah, you get frustrated. You start getting frustrated with people wasting your time. And I started up there. I won't lie to you. The one thing that I realized this year, the differences that I'm starting to have. I used to have a weird thing with time. Like I would rush just for something.
Yeah, I used to tell you a lot.
And I know like the minutes are not necessarily, like obviously I don't want to be late for things, but I always I don't know, there was this thing of time, you know, waiting. I need to do it. But then I started realizing sometimes, no, nigga, just chill. You know what I'm saying? There's no point of rushing. You know, you want to get into the office at 7 so that you could leave early. Yeah. Like sometimes, man, you know, I still want to be early, but I feel much
and you find like
now.
You're just saving like a minute.
Yeah.
The way I know you're wasting your time. Have you ever seen how when you drive and you're trying to get to a particular place, especially on the highway, and you're overtaking, and you look at your GPS, and that thing don't change. It just changes 1 minute, bro. And I think to myself,
that's the most annoying thing. You know, when you're chopping, I will lie to you. I don't. If let's say I go into the yellow line, right? It's because I know I'm gonna have to offer them. I don't incriminate myself.
Insurers are crazy.
Okay, carry on. Let's be honest. I'm off ramping here, bro.
Okay, finish your statement. Sorry to
like so. Sometimes you find yourself at the yellow line. You're thinking, you know, if you take the yellow line, it's not about time efficiency. It's because maybe you just don't want to be behind cars. Because I'm like, again, bro, let me tell you, if you're lucky, you can cut off 5 minutes. But can you imagine how many
5 minutes?
No, I'm saying that is record.
Do you know
that means you have to go for a yellow line for at least a good 5 minutes. It's not even
about 5. It's like you gotta be like professional driving. Taxi driver professional to cut off 5 minutes. You can do the minute. We all do the minute. Minimum, we're all doing a minute when we're cutting to get to places. That's how I know. I'm like, you do know you could die. What you're doing is gonna kill you.
Is it worth it?
For 1 minute. And you're looking at the ETA on the GPS that this is not working. When it switches and says, oh, I found a faster route, and now you see 5 minutes drop. Right? That's like a saving efficient. And you know what's so well? You even pace it. It's like, how much time do I save if I'm driving, let's say, 100 kilometers per hour and 120? And it doesn't change. And you're just sitting there and you're like, what?
Yeah, but it makes you feel like, you know.
Do you know why I'm saying you're right? You said rushing.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't want to. You know when you like get into like a minimum accident and you're like, oh man, what was I doing? I don't want to have that feeling where every time where you're like, oh man, if I only didn't turn fast enough, or if I only, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start like now trying to blame yourself. Now that's what sometimes you'll be like in the fast lane, because you know the fast lane. Like I always told you, I'm like, the fast lane is not healthy. Because you find the guy is just following you. He's not even flashing you. But you feel the need to like, no, I need to move fast.
Yeah, that's how you get bloody tickets. That's how you get tickets. Just and you know when you're talking about accidents during so it was Eid, right? So I finished my Eid Salah. So I obviously, you know, the route to go home is simple.
Yeah.
But I had to pass by Cecil because I needed to buy myself some zins.
Yeah.
So I'm driving and it's a 4-way stop, like, you know.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was checking out because they're selling cars there. So I'm looking at these prices. I'm like, man, they're selling a Land Rover for but it's, you know, it's them. I don't know. Sometimes I even wonder, does those cars move? That's the question. They're selling a Land Rover for like 30,000. I was like, no, this is crazy. So as I'm looking, the car is slowly, you know, the car is just slowly going. I kissed this Polo GTI. I kissed it because the thing is that because I'm not going at the speed. That's why I was looking, but you know the car is still rolling. I kissed it. I'm like, in my head, I knew by the impact and the force and the way everything felt, there is no way there's any damage to this person's vehicle. Then it was a lady. It was a lady, colored lady, because we stay in a colored area. She just says, get out of the car. She says, no, reverse. Let me see if anything's damaged. Because now I kissed it and I don't want to move it. So we just reversed it. And thank God nothing happened.
She was chilled?
No, she was chill, bro. We're not going to waste time, bro.
No. It's just
you mean like you're throwing a fit and stuff? I mean, I think this is where I always say, where do you get the time, blood? I always feel like when people
traffic is like, I mean, like doing something like that. Because road rage is a thing.
Yeah, I know.
They need to study it, because the personality switch is insane, right? So
I deduce it to the mere fact that the safest place you always feel is within your car, and that's why you think you can talk so much smack. Because it's a different conversation where we're walking and someone bumps you. You're not gonna have the same reaction when you're in a whip where someone you be saying, "Oh, you bloody bastard! Yeah, what? You bloody cock!" You even talk all that nonsense, and then you carry the adrenaline when you come out. You know, sometimes niggas just need a slap.
I just think cars, you know, it's not even. I don't think it's only about the safety thing. It's just that a car makes you feel like that.
And also, it looks like the person is trying to kill you. There's an element of this guy's trying to threaten my life.
Plenty of people like when you just
this nigga, are you trying to kill me, man?
Bro.
Oh, man.
Bro.
Yeah,
but anyway, you heard Travis Scott is coming.
Yeah, man.
And also Doja Cat's coming back home.
before we go to Travis Scott, I was listening to Playboi Carti's new album.
Okay. Did you listen to Crush?
No, I'm not even sure yet. The thing is with this album, now, can I be honest with you? The first half of it, man, we could do without it, man. Besides the Kendrick feature, you can move it down a little bit. All the features of Kendrick is dope. I feel like he I don't know, man. I feel like there's people who are making his sound a little bit better than a
lot of people.
I feel like he eats projects.
I think it was because he took a long hiatus.
And also, you take a long hiatus, and then on top of that, you make a mosh album. Like a lot of it is just a lot of songs that don't even.
You know what's the problem with like giving a rating to a Playboi Carti album?
Yeah,
it's because the feeling when you listen to it.
I knew, right?
And then you go out one night. and you're like, yo.
But I'm telling you, it only picks for me. I started
Bro.
feeling it on like as like listen, because bro, the first
Okay, I like
half of it-
what's it? Evil Jordan. Evil
Yeah.
Jordan is
Yeah,
Evil
well.
Jordan snaps.
But even Jordan,
Even Crush. You know what's the problem with Crush, right? The song
Yeah.
with it has Travis. The problem with Crush is a instrumental with ad libs. For me, my criticism came in a fact of it sounded like you had ideas for this album, right? And then you got to the point where I also do it as a musician, where you think you're gonna come back and cook these songs back up, right? You're gonna come back, you're gonna clean it,
Yeah.
and then what happens? What I think happened genuinely was like, bruh, you know what? Just click release. This is nonsense.
That's what I felt about the lot of the album.
But what was nice about it was because but they were.
I feel like he never finished. Some songs feel like he didn't finish it, and then he's like, "Yo, man, you wanna hop on this song?" And then got the other person to help him finish the song.
So I think with it's also it works very well because the songs are not lengthy, so they don't do what they don't need to do, right? And they also sound like they're done like that on purpose for the sake of live performances and tours. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which obviously, and I think I'm not gonna.
That's why he made so many songs.
I'm not gonna sit and also like boost streams easier.
Yeah,
and now when you like a song, sorry to cut you off, you're gonna keep on replaying it.
Yeah, not true.
Right? And obviously because of the type of artist he is, bro, please don't go trying to go listen to Playboy Carti to give a critic, right?
Yeah,
it's like a lifestyle thing. You understand? You gotta understand where the guy's coming from. And like that's what I even said to you right now. You will say, you know what, you go one night out, we start putting it on, you're like, I'll see it.
But my criticism is it's a lot of songs. And
it's a lot of ideas.
A lot of songs, a lot of ideas. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of hype moments where you're like, wait, bro, why didn't you like carry on?
Yeah, why don't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes
like these moments with
like a transition. You're like, wait. Then he cuts it. Then, but yeah, man.
But to be sorry to cut you off again.
Yeah.
To be fair, without Playboy Carti, there is no Yeet. There's no Destroy
That's
Lonely.
What I'm saying. Pioneer-wise, but there's
a whole lot of Raid had more impact, but we don't know what I Am Music's gonna do.
Yeah, true.
Because it's always
a whole lot of Raid.
Same hate. Same way we're hating.
I listened to that thing and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
And then
I listened. That's what I'm saying. You know, when I heard that, take your shirt off and then stop breathing. I was like, "What?" The first time I listened to it, I was like, what the hell is this album? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like it wasn't even a few days. It was during COVID, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to it. But back to your conversation about Travis Scott before we deviate. Yeah, man, Travis Scott is coming to the building. To the motherland. You know,
he's just coming back, because he's been here before.
In Cape Town or what?
2017 he came through.
Yeah, man. And obviously they're
still looking for the tickets.
Yeah,
I have something promising. The person that watching the thingy, she said she'll buy me tickets.
Niggas always say they're gonna buy tickets.
I'm not gonna name drop, but hey, I'll give an update if you genuinely buy me the tickets.
I feel like I can buy tickets. I don't think buying the tickets is the money. It's a situation. It's
just what's going on.
There's a lot.
The problem is with us being adults now. Every month is always going to be
something happening.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
it's just going to be too many people.
The thing is, I would love to see Travis perform because Travis is actually a very strong performer.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Playboy came, like anytime that guy's music comes on now, I'm like, damn, bro.
But my thing that I wonder, because I've never been, I don't know how it would feel to the stadium thing.
That's why I want to go.
The stadium thing, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know.
So with the stadium, it's going to be, think about it like this. This is going to sound like, no pun intended, it will always be a goosebump. Have you ever watched a live performance and they cut the music and you just hear the whole crowd. Like when we
Yeah.
heard A Minor at the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, even if you watched it on YouTube, you're like, oh, damn. I think that's what an artist lives for their entire life. You can never replicate that feeling anywhere else where you hear someone or like 50,000 people singing
Seeing what
something you wrote,
created.
something you created. So I think, I think he's on a stadium tour, arena tour or something.
Yeah.
Hope Kendrick, you my boy.
I think his tickets would be more expensive.
It's no. I think the reason why on the stadium it works better than Ticket Pro Dome, you know why?
Yeah.
Because it's a stadium.
It's a stadium. It's large numbers to sell.
So you're not gonna come here and decide
but
that
FNB holds a lot of niggas.
That's
man.
why I'm saying I went on today.
That's why I'm not even pressured that much, bro. South Africans don't buy tickets as quick as other people.
No, like I said, if it was Ticket Pro Dome, formerly Coca-Cola Dome, I don't know why they changed the name.
They would have sold out in one day.
Quick, it was gonna be gone.
In minutes.
It would have
would be even more than how much they could provide.
Yeah, so it would have just been sold. But because now you have to take into consideration.
How many seats is Ticket Pro Dome?
I don't know.
That's the reason I'm asking is because one day I do hope to sell out a show. With that many seats, you know what I mean? Okay, as a comedian,
in South Africa, let me say this, in to be honest with you, right? You're gonna have to be Trevor Noah big.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because what's the thing is, you can be a good comedian who sells out venues. The thing about doing a Madison Square Garden or whatever, right? You must remember one thing. And this is what people don't understand about being artists and also being in the public life or doing anything with arts, right? There are many people who are amazing artists, best in the game, but they're not marketable. They don't have a brand. They're not known, right? For example, I'll use Mpo Pops. We all know Mpo Pops because he's a brand. We all knew Trevor Noah a lot because he started now saying, I get it, I'm a funny guy, but I need to be in your faces in order to sell those tickets. If I like you dearly, right? For example, let's say, let me pick someone. Joe Rogan, I don't think would even sell an FNB stadium in South Africa.
No, it definitely won't.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's Joe Rogan. But you understand what I'm saying? It you would. But it's like a bit of you'll watch this 10 years and be like, damn, man, I sold out. Crying and all this money, the passion is dead, and then you're gonna be that guy driving. You know what sucks. Sorry to go off topic. Then you're gonna be a nigga driving a G-Wagon, and the kids are gonna be like, "Oh, he's driving a G-Wagon." Don't be like me, kids. And in his heart, he means it. He means it, but he sounds so cool.
but I think for me, what I appreciate is, like, even if we're doing this and no one is watching it, there are a lot of things that you're not ready for when you think you want to do something. For example, I was one of the comedians, Khabani Mloy. I've noticed that. Shout out, man. Yeah, honestly, he's one of the best young rising stars. Now, I'm not just saying that because just to say it, but I remember when you went on McG, right? And I thought the same thing. Sometimes, because he always says it, I believe in what I do, but my fear is, when it's time to act, will I be able to bring in the best? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times we don't anticipate that, okay, it's not just the idea that I can be on stage and tell really good jokes. I should be able to be, a lot of interviews. People need to feel my energy. I should be able to express myself in the way that I want people to perceive me as well. And that is
just
so
part
hard
of the
to translate.
game.
And that goes over time. You know what I'm saying?
Takes long.
You know that, okay, do you know how to handle yourself during interviews? Especially when you don't have a team. Because, people, they train you to do these things. Because, again, we need to respect the fact that you want people to buy tickets. And I've learned that. And I've learned that, like, even when I started, I used to feel like I want to be more, what's the word? More raunchy with the comedy of the style that I want to do. And which I feel like I still keep elements of it, but you need to keep elements of it that it does not come across.
Would you say the culture as a whole, not only comedy, that people in industries, even in South Africa, don't respect brand anymore?
Yeah, I think the reason why is social media. I think because now you initially were just more focused on the art form that you're doing. You didn't have to do all these other antics. You didn't need to bring a following
You
and all
needed to
of
be a
that.
mystery.
Yeah. So now, even a lot of people were saying like, I really appreciate, which I think is an important thing, like the Piano Pulse podcast. Even though they don't do any interviews because they criticize a lot of things.
Yeah.
But those type of avenues, especially for a genre like Amapiano, and you want to say it's a movement, you must remember hip-hop didn't get to hip-hop just because the music was dope. It's because of all these personalities. The Breakfast Club is one of them, and that's why we respect them, the journalists.
It used
and
to be
stuff
Double
like that.
XL, it used to be Vibe.
And No Jumper once upon a time.
Depending on what era of hip-hop, let's put our respect
and
on
we
it.
need those things because
back.
it creates
And
the
also
culture.
now what's crazy, because of even those publications, like we just saw that downfall of No Jumper, right?
Yeah.
Or to Adam 22, is because of so much clout. That one clip, now that works now all of it turns into, that's what we
That's
provide.
what we do now.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. And now it's like, but like we said, you're right. No one respects brand. Even, for example, we're speaking about Playboy Cardi. Went on Aiden Ross's stream and stood in the dark.
That was the most distasteful thing.
But yeah, to him it's a mystery, and the fans
niggas want to hit on Kevin Hart. You know one thing I realized about Kevin Hart, bro?
brand. That's what I'm saying.
Like branding yourself. So also be true to yourself.
Even Playboy Max, Will Smith was on Playboy Max.
Playboy Max is doing a lot, man. Playboy Max.
That's what I'm saying.
Playboy Max is able to get everyone
And speed.
And while we're at this topic about branding, I was actually thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking for some time, and I always made this joke that one day I'm probably gonna run for president. I want to. There's a part of me that wants to. I want to be more politically inclined in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Not specifically is because I believe that it's our responsibility. We need to make politics interesting so that we can. The only way, and I'm starting to realize, a genuine impact that you can do to a lot of people's lives as a whole is to be somewhat politically involved in certain things. And
wouldn't you say
the lack of investment that we have as the youth in our country is because our politics is boring. It is boring. Because now the language of politics is again, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need, like, I was the other day, my dad was watching a lot of Gayton McKenzie's interviews, and I saw why Gayton McKenzie was able to achieve what he was able to achieve.
Yeah.
He's fresh, he's new, he doesn't have. Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Any nigga who was from 1994 and they started politics from that time, honestly, man, them niggas are snooze fest. I remember the other time they brought this other nigga from Rasmus. Bro, no one wants to hear that typical chat of we are bringing people together, and then so that no one cares, bro. We need to make it more entertaining. Speak the language of the people, and so that the people, specifically, let's say in our case, we're gonna have to mainly, let's say the conversations, because look at your class, and it's easier for you to have much more conversations if you are able to get a bunch of middle class people interested in politics and have them intrigued into politics. I feel like it's a very good stepping stone, because we all know I've noticed the biggest class group that is more invested in politics is usually not even the working class. It is generally the people are not even probably working. They are more invested in that.
No. I think counter.
Yeah.
I think the 1% is way more invested into politics than any. They donate. They know what's going on. Wouldn't you say that? Because if you look at it more, because remember, they would pay attention more because they know that they have much more to lose.
I mean,
think about it.
In this conversation,
because it is public like knowledge of all these like the rich people in our country, the richest ones. They are always in political talk. You understand?
Yeah, but we in
a sense, when you're saying we must be invested in politics, right?
So I'm saying, no, but wait, before, in the context of this conversation, we need to exclude those people because that group is in every political climate, regardless of where you are.
No, but wouldn't you say the people invested in politics who are at a lower class are not invested in politics per se, but more into activism? Because politics is different from activism. Because we are more activists, especially us Gen Z, who are very big activists. I think the biggest we push. You understand what I'm saying? But the investment.
But my question, no. Wait.
Okay.
I think you make a solid point in terms of activism, but I don't think in the context of South Africa.
No, think about it.
I don't think Gen Zers are activists in the context of
I think
give me an example.
Okay, I would say okay. Mine is a small sample, and mine is a biased sample, right? Obviously, we go into universities, right? Especially the EFF, was very youth inclined in varsities, right? They are big. Now we'll see who's gonna take over that, right? Very fees must fall, right? That's why I say we're more big into activism than people think. And it's because, bro, if we take a sample of all the people having a great time, it's a Friday right now, and we go out, we get, it's lit. Sorry, I didn't want to say it's lit on purpose.
Yeah.
But like, it's lit. And then you take that one thing, but every day when I go to work Monday to Friday, I'm the best. I do my best. I contribute and do that. And you take a small sample, right? And you say, this is how the youth. That's why I say, in our things, as our youth, we are more passionate about it than even other people, which it even hurts because it always backfires on us. We are more invested. We know when petrol goes up, even when you don't even have a car. You know when inflation goes up. We the ones who talk about VAT. We like it's.
But that's when I say that if well, I'm not gonna just add you and drag you into this, but I genuinely believe that if I have to go in much a political conversations and discussions, I'm gonna be honest and say that as much as I understand that I'm part of the minority in the sense, what I can do now, I feel like we can also get a lot of more middle class, more I don't want to say middle class, but more people who are, in our stages in life and making all of that. And if we are able to get them to understand this, because I know a lot of people will say we don't want to talk about politics. Politics are boring. It's whatever. But I genuinely feel like if we are able to put politics back onto the conversation of a lot of things, we can also. Because what we're doing is we are taking the culture of the Ramaphosa, and we're just remixing it again, and we're just bringing it back in again. And what
wouldn't you say it's the language?
It's the language,
of the politics.
It's the language.
People don't even understand half of the time what people are talking about.
It's for example, Julius Malema. I always feel like what made Julius Malema initially a superstar was because he killed the initial way of how people speak in politics, right? But then there was something where it's either is it power or I don't know what it is. But you remember when he was on McG's podcast and getting into it? Honestly, that was the driest. And one other thing I would if anyone who's running a political campaign, I'm not even just saying if you are not going to make sure that you're going to go on a pod that has numbers. Trust me, and especially
TikTok.
that means like I always listen to like the way the Americans now are running, niggas, you are able to hear the personality of the person and you are able to humanize the person. I can't imagine, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't imagine listening to a podcast of Cyril Ramaphosa speaking for 3 hours. That nigga just seems like a boring ass nigga. And I might be wrong. But the mere fact is, if I'm able to see how charismatic he is and talks and whatever, then you're like, man, this is type of, maybe this guy got something going on.
Yeah, man.
But generally, there's it's just like, as much, even if we don't want to be part of politics, but if we want to say that we want certain things to change and impacts and all of that, I think we also need to understand how the political game works, so that as much as whenever we feel like certain changes should be implemented, don't just say it out of the fact that you don't have resources.
But anyway, we're gonna get in child by time, so we need to get them tweets out, man.
Yeah, bro, I think how many tweets did you actually send me?
A couple.
Why am I? That sneeze made me feel so warm.
Nigga, that's germs. We just need to open up a little. Don't start, because it's gonna turn off the light. Just unlock.
No, I can. Let me just do it. Yeah, man. Plus, it's so quiet here, man.
Yeah, no, that's why.
It's not as the other areas.
Yeah, Third Avenue has been switching locations, guys, a lot. Yeah, man.
Bro, you only send me one tweet, yeah?
No, I sent you others before. I sent you another one.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah. I sent you first. I sent you a group, then I sent you one more.
Man. One thing I've noticed, sometimes my reading's a bit off because sometimes I'm not focusing on my reading. But today I'm gonna try my best to, read with focus. So, Shed says, the worst part about this economy is that y'all. Let me start again. The worst part about this economy is that you will have money, spend it wisely, and still get broke. Now you are beating yourself up for wasting money, but it's in reality everything is just so fucking expensive.
That is so true.
It is.
Since I've genuinely started working, like, I have everything written down. I know where everything is going. You just buy, like, you know what, let me go buy
a random 500 rand purchase can throw your whole budget off.
But the thing is, you find it's something like, especially now, like moving into a place, you find it's like something you genuinely need, and now you're beating yourself. Like the other time we bought curtains when we moved in, and they like set us back, and I was like, but it's curtains, fam. Like, people can see you inside.
Yeah,
it's just like, bro, but like now you out here beating yourself up for something you genuinely couldn't change, you couldn't control, you can't do. You need curtains, bro.
No, you need. I get you, bro.
So it's that feeling every month. Every single month you're gonna feel like that, and you'll do everything, and even the small purchase, you feel bad for buying yourself some snacks.
No, you can't feel bad for buying snacks,
bro.
Man.
It's this economy, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't feel buying snacks. I always feel like garage
personally, snacks.
You know what? One thing I've made peace with. I try not to think about how much money I have. You know what I do? If I have my basics that I know that I need for the month, and these basics include my wasting basics, my crap habits. If I got that, brother, I think I'll be good. Because, at the end of the day, let's be honest, it's not going to be forever. One day you're going to have too much money, and then you're not going to lie. You'll be like, that's where them niggas be saying, hey, man, this nigga came up to me and he said I can invest. Because why? You had a 50 grand just chilling, and you don't want to let it cook or something else. So sometimes I'm like, hey, man, yes, we are at least fortunate that, starting off your careers You didn't make any bad choices in life that maybe can set you back.
We hope not.
Yeah, we hope not.
Let's say
life
that.
happens, bro.
Because life happens. We hope not.
All right. Chase Demini.
You're gonna read these handles.
Yeah,
though.
man. Must give people their credit, bro. People die in a hospital too. We don't stop going to those. It's lit.
Then
Basically-
go down, read the button.
Wait, it says. Didn't people die at Travis Scott's concert? Oh, I think that was
Yeah,
the
and there was
initial
a
thing. I
reply.
just replying. Oh, that people died in hospitals. We don't stop going to that shit. It's lit.
So before I give my 2 cents on it, right? Shay, man, rest in peace to all the victims, for real. Before
Yeah.
we get into band tennis, no disrespect to them whatsoever, and we hope going forward that event planners and organizations who deal with planning these things prevent these things going forth. But that's a true statement, though.
No,
People
it is.
don't stop driving. Probably an accident happening every time,
No, that's why you need to anxiety. I always tell people.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that messes me up. I tell my wife, she really does it well, but I struggle a lot, and I've noticed. Like I'm not. Sometimes I feel like I'm a germaphobe. Especially if I go to some place that I don't know, and I feel like things are just different. Like I struggle. Like when I don't know, but I adjust after some time, and I be like, nah, relax, nigga, you alright.
I think
Don't
my
worry.
one
You be
is,
fine. I'm not even using a cloth in someone's crib because I felt like, nigga.
for me, the one that kills me is this part, man. There's a handbrake.
What?
It freaks me out anytime I drive my vehicle. Like, it's so bad. And the way
What freaks you up?
that I don't, like, I won't pull it up. We don't drive cars that automatically go when you stop.
Yeah.
And the origin of this anxiousness, right, came from when we went to like Rosebank, and like, for the very first time, this is the problem with being anxious and anxiety, is when it proves you right. I say to these guys, hey yo, and then Ramos, man, I think I done pulled the handbrake up. Nah, man, you pulled it up, don't worry. I'm like, nah, man. I go to the parking lot,
And you realize,
the handbrake was not up.
bro, can I
And then from every sense, and now you're looking and you see it, it's like you're mad. It's like, bro,
one day in the house, in Devlin, I had in my head, but you know what's the worst part? You don't get cooked. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get cooked. So sometimes if something like that happens, I'm like, it's because I got cooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You convince yourself. The other time, I slept. Didn't lock the house. So in the morning when I'm waking up to run, I'm like, okay, green. I'm like, bro. You know how much this could have went wrong.
then your
I was like,
anxiety
now
starts.
you're like, yo, but you know what I try to do? Bro, sometimes you know what? Sometimes you need to tell yourself. I always say this, bro. If it's gonna be that way, it's gonna be that way, bro. We need to stop this stuff
bro.
of bugging out, bro. Because
So yeah, of course, everyone
bro.
who goes to the concert, when you start saying stuff like that,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, yo.
I ain't gonna lie, me, I don't get it. Why? Aye,
For
bruh.
this level, we
Yeah,
cannot
for
change.
this level, I cannot change. You feel it? Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, let's know the last one, man.
Yo, key, bro.
Nah, it's cool, bro. This thing, still, these ain't those old cars. Back in the days, bro. If you leave them headlights on for like 2 minutes, hey, bro, can you please give me a jump start there, please?
Bro, we can't jumpstart you in this power
Nah,
outage.
bro, nah, we cool. Okay. ASAP used the rap over some of the hardest beats and samples. Whoever was producing for him was on acid and in the lab. I love the mix of the alternative hip hop. This is the thing I always thought about ASAP. That ASAP
Is it ASAP?
It's ASAP, bro. And his beats, man, it just makes this, and it doesn't sound like raunchy to dirt. It has this psychedelic thing
That was
going on.
At long last ASAP was an album that was psychedelic rap.
Yeah. And they were like,
Oh yeah. I think a lot of people Clams Casino was the first guy from the ASAP Rocky mixtape. He was the first guy to pioneer that sound with him. And then ASAP Rocky is a producer, but a producer that brings he knows how to describe a sound. He doesn't necessarily sit there and be the beat maker.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it, and I won't lie. I've been looking forward to an ASAP Rocky project. A lot of people say,
Didn't he release a project?
no, bro, it's been a minute. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he was.
I don't want to start
man.
I don't want to start a whole topic about his criminal case and stuff.
Nah, bro, I am well in the loop of that. Case.
No, I was like, I don't want to. It's a whole conversation for another day. I mean, but like ASAP Rocky, I love anytime. I like the flow. I like the. You know when he doesn't need to be like top 5, but he's in ASAP like.
Hey, listen to this one. This is the last one that I did on this one. It's by Raid. You know when someone puts Raid with 2 D's, it just seems like a very provocative.
Wow. Okay, fam.
And I'm saying put an extra D on that shit. You know, only fans. Oh shit. Raid says, how do they know an animal is extinct? Like, y'all looked everywhere. But that's true, bruh. You know one thing I'm always gonna say. I'm gonna go on one of my tangent rants. White people need to make themselves stop being in charge of animals, man. Yeah. Them niggas acting like they know everything about everything, bro. It pissed me off, man.
And the thing is with animal behavior is like hard because you're speculating and it could change.
And it can change out of nowhere. We don't know why they've been doing this.
Because there was another one about the lone wolf thing that was just changed like 20 years.
White niggas say it. No,
20 years later, like, the fam was right there. Like,
this is not even the racism, bro. And I was.
But shout out to them. I can remember they're the ones who care for stuff like this.
What
monitoring animals.
We didn't do anything to them. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it a bar here, nigga. We been chilling with animals, nigga. They used to call us monkeys once upon a time. We were vibing. They came and they just started doing some weird stuff. That's the thing that pisses me off sometimes.
It's like disturbing something.
I always, and I know this is probably, I'm always one to change this part of myself, but I feel like, like the other time, even when we went on a rant, when we were arguing, is that I always feel like the conversation about environmentalism and all of that, it is hard to take it in as an African, knowing well aware that a lot of African practices is so sustainable.
Yeah.
Like even from the tribal days when niggas used to hunt, they used to make sure. And it's not.
We didn't over.
We need to pause and think. It's not all tribes used to do this. The Mayans, nigga, they instincted themselves. You know what they did? They killed a nigga, they threw the nigga in the river. What did they do? They drink from the same river.
It's not all of them. Yeah, we always forget like
it's not all of them.
Some of them is like, oh yeah. You're like, nah. Some of them were
some niggas be like, nah, don't kill that one. It's too young, nigga. Let that shit grow. You know, they niggas know how to be sustainable.
I think you know what it is.
And then they cow to those niggas. And capitalism
also, the one that also tatters me a lot, right? We are in end of the world mentality, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how long dinosaurs lived?
Before they got extinct.
My God, bro.
Yo, no, that's crazy. I
don't know what it is, but it's in the millions.
I don't know about
it. If not 100 million, but it's a million years, fam. Like, I don't know the exact number. Before that asteroid and hit, they like they were here.
Did you know that? Remember climate change?
Yeah.
Says that the world is heating up.
Yeah.
Apparently now, we're at nice low temperatures. You know, before the climate change saga of saying the world is going to heat up, people used to say we're going to go into an ice age. This goes back to again that these white niggas need to stop acting like they know everything. You know, niggas, bro. The one thing.
Have you know?
I'm a believer of science. I don't want to say people to think I'm one of those niggas who think the world is flat.
Doomsday science. Let me coin it. I don't know if it's a term, but Doomsday.
Yes. Where you think you're God. Where you think God made this world so simple that your simple ass mind can predict when things are gonna happen. Nah, man. And the thing is that I feel like we all in that mentality that the world is not gonna last that long. That's why a lot of people say they don't want to have children. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, like I said, when you look at, like they're saying, the moment I knew how long dinosaurs lived and where we are, and even when they talk about the sun blowing up, they put billions of years.
Yeah, they'd be like, nigga, wow. Why would I even care?
Probably my generation and generations of will be so long.
We need to address this thing when niggas are telling us that we only have a couple of...
I'm not saying we shouldn't.
No, you know who's pushing this propaganda? Them niggas who want us to move to Mars. You know, I won't lie to you.
Firstly,
Elon Musk, every time they talk about moving to Mars, it always sounds like a stupid... I won't lie to you.
That guy's stock for me is going down. That guy, and I know it's controversial, that guy, I think for some reason for me, he's worse than Ye. Like, y'all don't want to admit it. But do you know, once I remember, because, you know, I love space, and I was searching all these planets and habitable planets, né? And one thing hit me, right? Because, believe it or not, I believe in God because of science, right? And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, we live on such a perfect planet, despite what you think, that I breathe right now. No tech. We don't have to go melt the water on Mars to drink it with...
Explain to me why.
Just say, I would love to see if
Mars.
I could...
And I can live on Mars. Don't tell us that there's some reason one day we need to move to Mars. And first of all, we all know that niggas are going to be left behind.
Us.
So we're not going to invest.
You know?
Like, I won't let you... I hate the conversation about moving to Mars, man.
Let's say, yo, man, why don't you say... Hey, why do you want to go to Mars? Because I'm a cool guy and I do cool shit. Just answer like that.
Say shit like that. Be like, don't give us like, no environmental reasons.
Now I'm going to sit and listen to you. Firstly, a rocket. I don't want to know how many emissions, because those are the electronic. I don't want to know how much
sometimes
money.
I even wonder why they
I don't even want to.
We need to sometimes ask ourselves, why are these niggas going to space sometimes? You know, it'd be at least...
No, I love that.
The satellites. They throw the satellites in the sky and then they do all of that.
I love that. I love. I'm all for innovation. I just hate, like, the selling of making us feel bad for stuff that we can't control.
Yeah, no.
That's my issue with it. It's it's like, for example, we know that electrical vehicles will not be a norm, not because of consumers, right? And I don't want to sound like conspiracy theory, because of people who make money using oil and using... It's not us.
It's
if the electronical cars were working and they're efficient and everyone is, and
you should have had
the market,
a bulk of them now.
Everyone
Tesla has
doing,
proved the problem with the electrical market. Tesla was the first vehicle to prove that this thing is workable.
No, it wasn't. It was General Motors.
It was General Motors.
It's actually, I don't want to go too much into
we shouldn't go too much into depth about
General Motors, sorry, just to cut it short.
Yeah.
General Motors built they were building good, efficient cars. Then in California switched, right? I wish I had that fact check thing now.
Yeah.
It switched because the petroleum companies started lobbying with the government.
Oh, but you see, but you know, and what I wasn't saying that Tesla. I'm saying,
but
Tesla, the term Tesla was it popularized. Yeah, hey, niggas have electric cars, and these things can work, and niggas can afford them.
Before we end off, right? Because we're on an hour in. Since people have been burning their Teslas with activism, would you burn your Tesla?
No, further.
No, I would even say,
listen. You are right. Let's end it this way. You are right, and I don't know if it was. I remember I actually saw this conversation, but Americans, because they don't have culture, get bored, you attach yourself to weird stuff. I don't even understand. Bro. I don't think a South African, there's not one South African who will ever do something like that just because it doesn't
imagine I'll be like, hey yo, dude, no disrespect, I don't know this guy. I bought the car because I like him.
Nigga, now I must burn it because this nigga is working for the opposition
who's that
party.
guy? Johnson, the comedian.
Yeah.
And now you're finding, and I think it's like, hey, yo, man, white people, you don't have to explain, because the white people will be like, I bought the Tesla when Elon, before he switched
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
And I'm like, bro, why do you need? And the only ones, shout out to any victims who people are just burning their Teslas. And why? What's wrong with you burning someone else's car because he bought it?
Bro,
For example, Steve Jobs was known to be a shitty person. Known.
Yeah.
Recorded.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stop using Apple products.
Nah, man. I feel like that thing is funded. A lot of the America.
No, I don't want to even understand.
I don't even want to go into the conspiracy.
I don't even give him the benefit of trying to dissect.
No, I'm not even.
When we sit there, I'm not even Christian. I'm full-blown Muslim.
Yeah, but the niggas are spraying swastika signs on that thing, saying he's a
But y'all
Nazi.
need Jesus.
Nah, y'all need Jesus. Y'all need Jesus. Y'all need. I don't know.
But
You know,
I don't
niggas who are problematic in America, you'll notice, is people who are come from strong cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, the Italians. You know, you don't like touch yourself.
They're like, no, my son's gonna be, wilding out. Like,
it's these. You know this LA. You know, New York.
Yeah, like when you're just
What's
like,
going on,
what?
man?
Like, whoa. I'm
That's
not
why
judging you.
You know how long? You know what pisses me off? And I'm gonna say this a lot. And I used to say this to my friend. And I was like, you know what makes me so angry about veganism per se? Bro, I've known veganism for so long. I never knew it to be what, because we used to have Rastafarian friends.
Yeah.
And I never knew it to what y'all niggas are making it to be.
But anyway, like I told you earlier, everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah, man. But anyways, man, guys.
Thank
this
you.
has been Third Avenue, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, man.
And
It's always a pleasure to be here.
yeah, man. And
Yeah.
peace, man.
Peace.